This is a discussion that you guys have probably heard over 100 times leading up to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and as we get closer and closer, we get more trailers and more trailers from Nintendo, and still, it leaves us generally with the same impression every single time. Now, I think this game is going to be pretty cool. Like, it's going to have a lot of new quality of life updates. We know we can probably craft different vehicles and weapons, and there's tons of new enemy variety, but at the same point, I don't think really anything else is changing. I've said before that this game could have went one of two ways. That one, maybe they were hiding something extremely big, and maybe they still are for the sake of Nintendo keeping things close to their chest, and two, maybe that's all they have to show us. Maybe there really isn't as much as we were hoping there would be this time around. But today, I do start to kind of build up a worry that I was really hoping I wouldn't have by the time of that last trailer, and I was hoping that that last trailer would have kind of eased my mind with certain things, and if anything, it might be getting a little worse. So first, I want to talk about the world and the file sizes that we actually have right now. Breath of the Wild was 14.4 gigabytes, and Tears of the Kingdom is 18.2 gigabytes. Now, a lot of people might be like, man, that's going to be an impressive amount of storage for this game. Like, this is the biggest game by far now on the Nintendo Switch. And Breath of the Wild was already the biggest. So why am I complaining about this? Well, when you look at it, it's not a big deal when we see that everything within the overworld that we've seen in every single trailer seems to be exactly the same. Meaning that probably the overworld of Hyrule is going to stay the same. And for the most part, most of our exploration is going to be in the sky or in some underground areas. So the problem with this is that this is only an extra 3.8 gigabytes, which straight up tells us there's not going to be an extra world or a big chunk of map. Really, it's just going to be probably what we see, the sky islands and some caves, which is kind of a letdown. Think about it, Breath of the Wild's 14.4 gigabytes went into that entire world and probably the shrines around it. So yes, I'm expecting shrines to return in some way, shape, or form. People have theories like that online that lots of the shrines will take place on little islands in the sky. But at the same time, it's just going to pretty much be exactly the way Breath of the Wild was, with just the addition of the sky islands and caves. That overworld is staying the same. It's part of the file size, which is, once again, a letdown. Now, it wouldn't be a big deal if the overworld was actually changed some, but every single clip we've seen of the overworld is a one-to-one exact recreation from Breath of the Wild with, like, some debris laying everywhere, like a couple of blocks and pieces from the Sky Island. It's the same overworld. So I think this does confirm that maybe our hopes and wishes of an underground map or some big piece of land in the sky other than a couple of the Sky Islands is just not gonna happen, which is a huge missed opportunity to have like a low rule or a world underneath of Hyrule. So why in the world is this game priced at $70? Well, I just think it's because it has a big file size. Technically, it's taking everything from Breath of the Wild and just adding some sky islands to it, so technically it's a very big game because of that. Even though it is the same world with some minor alterations, it's ideally the same game, but there's just more there. So I think they feel obligated to charge $70 for such a big file size. Now, Nintendo said they're only going to do this with games they feel that need that $70 price tag, and I think they've already priced Metroid Prime 4 at $70, and we don't even know what the game's going to be about, so clearly it's going to be very expansive and bigger than most games, but that's the only reason that they're pricing this at $70. Now, I thought the only way that this could have been manageable, like the reason that they should have done this is if there was a second map. That would make a lot of sense. Like if they had a whole nother map somewhere or something massive like huge dungeons and something, and maybe there's still dungeons. I do believe that that could still be the case, but we haven't seen anything yet. That leads me into my next issue, is they're not showing anything for some reason. And I know a lot of people out there are like backing it up saying, that's completely fine, I will love to go in blind and stuff. That's all great and dandy, but when they have shown literally nothing progressive into like making people want to buy this game, that's when it becomes an issue. When we keep seeing these same clips of the overworld, of the Thundra Plateau that we've seen a million times, of Hebra Peak, of the Great Plateau, and it doesn't look any different in this game compared to Breath of the Wild, that's when it becomes an issue. And I'm trying to just get that point across. I get it. You want to be surprised with the story details and stuff, but at this point, How long can we wait until we see something that's important with the actual gameplay? What are we doing in this game? And a lot of people are going to say, it's going to sell gangbusters no matter what. Who cares? That is not necessarily the case. Lots of the time when there's sequels on the same console, the sequel never sells anywhere near as well as the first game. And I can give you tons of examples. Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 both came out on the Wii. Mario Galaxy sold 12.80 million copies and Galaxy 2 sold 7 million copies. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle sold over 8 million copies, where Sparks of Hope is apparently a lot less, because they're not even really giving us the sales figures. Ubisoft just says they're surprised by Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope's low sales after the first game. And Fire Emblem Engage may not be a direct sequel to Three Houses, but it is the second installment of the Fire Emblem franchise on the Switch, and it looks like as of right now, it is not going to reach anywhere near the sales of Three Houses. And that's just the thing. Everything they showed us with Breath of the Wild was exciting, because it was showing us pieces of this brand new world that we had no clue about. Everything was new. All the locations, every bit of the sightings, it was all new information. So they needed to give us something to look forward to explore, and that's what they gave us. But Tears of the Kingdom isn't really doing that. I mean, I still can't really say I have a whole bunch of hype to explore the map or do anything in the game. Yeah, the Sky Islands looked okay, you know, the couple of Sky Islands that there are, but besides that, yes, there's some underground caverns, but I think they're just going to be limited to caves, and that's about it. What else is in this game? I'm starting to think there may not be anything else, and Nintendo needs to show us if there is. If there are vast dungeons and there are some type of shrines or new shrines, we need to see how they play, what they are. Because yes, I think they can hold off on the story information. Of course, we would love to, you know, kind of explore that ourselves, but they need to show people why they want to play this game. Breath of the Wild sold 29 million copies. Now, of course, there's a lot of influence that goes into this. Not just Zelda diehard fans are playing this game, guys. Remember, this game actually launched with the Nintendo Switch as well, and is one of the only things that people could play at the time, which also was a great, vast reason people wanted this game. And of course, the reason because it was the next big Zelda game, and it was an open world experience for the first time ever. It was something new, it was something fresh, it was a brand new start for the series, so it had a reason to sell that much. Now, there's no way that Tears of the Kingdom is going to come anywhere near that until they start showing off a reason why people would want to buy it. Everyone I know, even non-Nintendo fans, wanted to play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and talked about it non-stop. And then I talk about Tears of the Kingdom with them and they're like, what the heck is that? I'm like, oh, it's a sequel to Breath of the Wild, the game that you loved so much. They're like, oh, I didn't even know that was coming. I mean, I literally just went to my barber the other day who loved Breath of the Wild, who is just now getting back into video games because of Breath of the Wild, and he had no clue that Tears of the Kingdom was even really a thing. He said he saw some stuff on it and he thought it was just going to be a DLC expansion to the first game. You see my problem? I also wanted to go back and play through Breath of the Wild before Tears of the Kingdom came out so I can note everything that has changed within the overworld and also just collect all those Korok seeds finally. And a lot of people told me in my comment section that I shouldn't do that because I'm going to get burnout because the map is going to be the same. That's the problem. I should not have burnout from exploring and having fun checking out the Breath of the Wild map casually and then having burnout because I'm going to be on that exact same map with no changes in Tears of the Kingdom. That's the issue. It shouldn't just be, oh, well, Death Mountain is going to change, or, well, this one location is going to change. No, like, it should be generally a almost new map. If we're paying $70 for what is a new Zelda experience or the next game from that amazing Zelda experience, they should at least give us a new map, something fun to explore, something new to look around in, some new place to find new secrets, the same way Majora's Mask followed up Ocarina of Time. It was a different, more wacky game, but at the same time, it took the assets and elements of what made Ocarina of Time so great and incorporated them into a new world with new people and just new places to go with new enemies, dungeons, and exciting new things to explore. We are 3 months away from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so Nintendo is going to have some type of big direct, I am sure of it, probably around April, I would guess. The month before would make a lot of sense. It could even be in March, so keep your eyes out for that. Maybe they want to do it in March before the Mario movie. That would make a lot of sense to me. But either way, we'll be getting a lot of information, I'm sure, soon. I hope to be put to rest on this. I hope this isn't the case. I hope they show us so much stuff and it's just like, all right, this game looks amazing. I don't need to see anything else. But maybe they're hiding something with the overworld. Maybe there's big changes that's going to be coming to the overworld that we just haven't seen yet. They just haven't decided to show us yet. But man, every time they show us a town like Hateno Village and Kakariko Village, actually I think they just showed us Hateno, but just everything else, the bridges, the overworld, you know, the Great Plateau, the mountain ranges, Death Mountain, everything is ideally the same. Just with like some new enemy camps and some malice spread around again. This has to be something different. It has to be something new. Breath of the Wild was known for its exploration, unless this game was to be known for something else. But with an open world map being the same exact map, could you imagine if the next GTA game was the exact same map, just with some floating islands? People would riot. I mean, people would riot. So there has to be something else. I'm still holding on to faith, but I'm definitely losing my grip here. I'm losing my hope. I hope that's not the case. I hope that they have something else in store, but everything seems to be exactly the way it was in Breath of the Wild with minor changes. It does feel like DLC. I know this game started as DLC, so that's what I think I'm actually worried about, is that just kind of influenced the whole development of this game, and they just, you know, took what was DLC and decided to add a little bit more and slap a $70 price tag on it and said new game. It took them almost 5 years to develop this game. I think almost like 6 years, because they started development like right away. So what were they developing? What is left? What are they hiding with this game? It could just be dungeons this time around, with some minor changes with the overworld and brand new sky islands and underground, which would be good. Even that still, in my eyes, wouldn't be what I think they should have done. I still think they should have had a second or separate map or changed everything on the current map. But it is what it is. You know, we just have to wait and see before we actually jump into full speculation mode. But let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel so far. I know a lot of you guys are still going to be excited, but I also know a lot of people are kind of deflated right now because there's not a lot of hype surrounding this game. Views on the internet with everything Tears of the Kingdom seem to be a lot lower than every other game that's coming out. For some reason, people just aren't that excited about this game right now, or choosing not to watch this game. That's completely up to you, but let me know how you guys feel about this. Do you want to see more? Do you want to see what the heck we're even doing in this game? Are you nervous about this game? Are you perfectly fine? Let me know down below. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me rant. I mean it. It means a lot to me. I truly appreciate you guys. But make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on more Zelda information, and I will be sure to see you guys on the next one. See you guys.